Everybody's on edge. Everybody wants to try to make those quick fixes that we can and get ready for what's next. So we were definitely locked in yesterday. A lot of competing, a lot of going at each other. And that I think we're ready for what's to come.
After looking at the tape, what's the focus been in practice so far?
Right now it's just understanding the level of physicality that we need everywhere we go, and just bringing that fight and that competitive edge in all situations, no matter what the environment is like.
Just against South Carolina, do you feel like, I guess, using size to your advantage, going down to the post more, do you think that would have been a little bit more helpful just to?
That's something Al brought up to us yesterday. He said that in those situations where things just were breaking down how they were on offense for us, where we got to look inside a little bit more, just because it slows the game down and it makes the other team make different decisions with the size that we do have and the abilities that we do have. So just in those situations, it kind of calms everything down for us and gives us a new look.
You guys have these back-to-back road losses, which isn't a huge deal because the A&M could have gone either way. But is that kind of a message for you guys too? Like, hey, we can drop 100 at Rupp, but we got to make our money on the road too in these tough environments.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's not going to be easy anywhere we go because everybody's home game against us is the biggest game on the schedule to them, to the fans, to the environment. There was an unbelievable energy down in South Carolina, and that's something that it's newer for us to experience with the guys we have, but now we kind of got our feet wet with it, and we're getting used to it, and we understand more now than ever what's going to come when we're on the road.
What are some of the things you've been saying to these younger guys who are new at going on the road and experiencing that kind of environment as you guys come off 2 losses and head into another road game?
It's all about how connected we are. There's times out there where you can't even hear yourself talk, let alone your teammate or a coach calling out what he wants us to do. So when somebody does pick up on what the coach's saying, we have to relay it to everybody. We have to understand what we need and what we want through the possessions, because there were some big possessions where we're down maybe 1 or 2 baskets and we let the game get away from us there, and that's what created the biggest separation for us. It was just that lack of communication and that lack of being able to calm down and let things develop and play the game the way we know we're capable of.
A lot of teams are probably going to try and be more physical with you all moving forward. How do you counter that on the floor without getting away from what has got you all so good to this point?
You just have to be physical back. You have to set the tone early, and you have to keep that tone. There's going to be teams that play absolutely out of their minds against us. We've seen it the entire year, and I really don't think that's going to change. So it's just a matter of letting those people know that we're here for 40 minutes and we're going to be just as physical as we need to be. We're not going to back down from any scenario.
What do you see out of Arkansas? What do you think that game's going to look like?
I'm sure it's going to get chippy. On the road, you're gonna hear probably some things you don't want to hear, but it's more about us than it is about them, because when we have things going and we're playing together, we're a really good team, and Arkansas is a really good team as well. So we know they play some small lineups sometimes, so there's going to be some adjustments we're going to have to make on the fly. But I don't think that there's anything they can throw at us that we haven't seen before and that we're not ready for.
Reed got a little shy shooting the ball in that last game. What do you all say to him to maybe get him to, or what does he have to do even to get himself more looks and get himself going?
He just has to play his game. Everybody knows, and Reed knows how his last game was, but it's just the fact that reminding him that he's a human being. It happens. It happens, and regardless of that kid works his rear end off every single day. He puts the work in, and I think you're going to see moving forward that he's going to rely on his craft on those moments, and whether that be me as a leader reminding him of that or him himself keeping him in that mindset. I'm pretty close with Reed, so we have an open dialogue all the time regardless of whatever it is, and he listens. But I don't think you're going to see much more of that from him, because he knows what he's capable of and what we need him to do.
Did you say anything in particular after the South Carolina game to him about that?
I mean, I just talked to him, and just like, first I just made sure he was all right. That's first. That's the most important thing. Make sure my guys are good. But it's just like, all right, it happened. Forget about it. Move on to the next one. You know what you're capable of doing. So just trust yourself.
It's been about a month since you guys had to do on the field with you? What do you look most about having him back, and what can he bring to this team, maybe in that physicality department?
The energy he brings, it's second to none. Some of the plays he makes are some really big plays, and it provides a spark for our team, and we feed off of that. On top of that, Adu is one of the strongest people on this team, and he's not afraid to get physical. He's not afraid to put his body on the line. I mean, that's part of the reason why he wasn't with us for a minute, is because he was leaving absolutely everything out there and sacrificing himself for this team. So we're excited to get him back and looking forward to what he's going to bring.
How do you feel the defense has played the last couple games for you all, and especially in like kind of the pick and roll defense too? I know that was a big emphasis.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we struggled a little bit, as anyone could tell. We've had some mental slips along the way. You know, I think we let up 5 or 6 dunks on out of bounds plays, and that's just a lack of awareness. You know, there's schemes that we stick to on our out of bounds plays that we weren't sticking to in the past 2 games, and it's just a matter of getting those corrected and staying locked in defensively, not taking gambles. We take a lot of risks. Some guys are willing to risk a rotation to make a play, and you don't always get that play when you're going against good players. So just a matter of staying solid, keeping the dudes in front of us, and not giving people advantages on the offensive end.
What do you think of Big Z's debut?
I've never seen anything like it. I mean, you know, he came out ready to go, and obviously he's a young guy, and you saw last game that he still has some things to learn, as do all of us, but he works hard and he puts one foot in front of the other. I think he's going to be just fine.
Appreciate it.
Good. Thank you, guys.
Sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hey, Dad.
That's probably a big honor for you, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
How come?
I always wanted to be a McDonald All-American, so that was like a dream thing growing up.
I know Boogie and Quain's got that call. What do you remember about getting that call? Or just finding out that you got it?
Man, it was after practice too. I was crying the whole day. Like, I told my mom, I told my brother, I told most of my family, I told half of the world. So yeah, I was kind of, very excited actually.
And when you found out you had some, future teammates down there, how exciting was that too?
That was fun too, cause it was playing with people I know. So it was real fun.
Has practice been a little extra physical?
Oh yeah, real physical, real. It's like a teaching moment. Like after that loss, it was a teaching moment, and we had to understand how to play and like what to expect.
What was the lesson then?
Just play hard, give it your all. Just do all the dirty work. That's really it.
You guys have these couple road losses, and A&M could have gone either way, but is that something you guys are talking about? Like, you guys can go crazy at route, put up 100, whatever, but you guys have to, buckle down and win in these tough environments?
Yes, because we all bring, like, Trey and Tone, they used to that. We're not used to that yet, so we still got to build that confidence and build that, build that mental to have during those tough road games, because it's going to be, like, a lot of people there going against you, and you got to lock in with your teammates. So that's what we just got to know and, like, remember.
Is it tougher than people realize? Because, like, in these AAU games and prep games, you guys, even if you're on the road, people are going to see you guys. You make a shifty play. Exactly. People are cheering for you. Nobody's really cheering for you at South Carolina.
Exactly.
So, like, how difficult is that for all the freshmen?
It's real difficult because, like you said, it's like during AAU, like most people that go to an AAU game is going to see that person. It's not really a team. You feel me? So a lot of people going against one team is kind of like stressful, but like it puts that like pressure on you. So we just gotta like be one. That's it.
But you had that moment at Florida. You had those big plays late. Is that something that you can feed off of? Learn how to silence that crowd, make big plays in late moments.
Yeah, that's something that I feel like I could do more of if I play. Like what Coach Cal's telling me, just play. Like, don't stop because you make a mistake. Just play.
There's been some moments this season we've kind of battled foul trouble and having to get a tough whistle. I guess, how do you navigate that, and what's that process been like of learning to stay on the court without picking up fouls?
Move your feet. And you're not always gonna get every good call. It's about how you respond to it. So the response is way more important than like picking up that foul. So if I get one foul, I try not to get a foul till like the seconds, like later in the second. So just trying to put those pieces together.
Is that something that the coaching staff has kind of helped you?
Yeah, it's starting to help me. They've been talking to me a lot and telling me often like, play defense without fouling. Like it sounds easy, but it's really hard. So he just telling me what to do and how to do it.
Some of those fouls are kind of ticky-tack where you're just kind of going over the back and stuff like that. Is that a positioning thing that you just kind of got to learn more about? Or?
It's more of trying to turn my aggression into like better. Cause like I'm trying to get aggressive because that's what I got to work on, my aggression. So I'm trying to be more aggressive, but I got to learn how to use it. Instead of jumping over the foul, push somebody, get in a position like you just said. So, yeah.
As far as shaking off these losses, what are some of the things that older guys like Trey or Antonio have been saying to you guys to kind of help you go through that?
Just keep your head up. Like, just be who y'all are. It's a loss. Everybody loses. It's one loss. On to the next. It's on how we bounce back every single game that we play next.
Going into tomorrow, you guys are both coming off of a loss, another tough road environment. How can you channel that that hunger and that obviously you're both wanting to go out there and come get off those losing streaks? How can you channel that and go in there and have your best game?
We gotta go in as one, cause we gotta do the little stuff first. So if that means you gotta be at a certain place on a certain play, you gotta be there. So you gotta, like I said, be one. We gotta start off hot, be the aggressors instead of like being pushing around and stuff like that. You gotta be the ones pushing. So if we do that, we'll get the W.
What do you see out of Arkansas? What did they do well as a team?
Everything actually. They're a really good team. I think they can shoot. We got a lot of big bodies on there. I think Bay Fall, does he play for Arkansas? Yeah, he's a really good player. So they got a lot of good players up there. It'll be a really tough matchup, but we just gonna play basketball.
With Big Z in the lineup with you all now, that you've got 3 7-footers. How have you seen that through 2 games kind of work with you and Ugo and just the rotations and just how it's all kind of meshed so far?
It's going great because with me, I could play 4 or 5. Z, you could play 4 or 5. Ugo could play 5. So it's kind of like we all do certain things good, and we all do like a main thing good. So with Ugo, he blocks shot. Z, he's like a passer, playmaker. I'm a finisher. So we all got our certain things that we do that make us who we are and make us the team that we are.
You mentioned Arkansas can shoot the ball. You guys have kind of struggled in the past guarding the 3. What's something you guys can do better in this game?
Talk on switches, don't get split, and don't get pushed around. That's it.
To that point, y'all have emphasized pick and roll defense a little bit over the last couple of weeks. How have you seen that play out so far?
It's been actually been playing real good, especially with Coach Kyle. He's been like really coaching, locking in and doing what he do best, figuring out ways where we can use our talents to our ability, like to the best of our abilities. So he's just been putting in a lot of like pick and roll stuff with me, Ugo, and Z. So, yeah.
It's been a little while since you guys have had, a dude on the court. What are you looking forward to most about having him back, and what kind of physical presence?
Man, that's going to be a blessing because a dude do all the stuff that we need. He blocks shots, he goes for rebounds, he attacks the rim, and he can shoot. I don't care what nobody's saying. My man can shoot.
Everyone good?
Appreciate it.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Well, appreciate y'all.